What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily horoscope for Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Brian here, Fixedairmoon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you all so much. I've been sitting out under the stars for the last 4 hours, and gosh, talk about like just feeling into things, and coming into Cancer season, it just felt so good, and to just really spend some time with the moon and the stars and contemplate the divine nature of the planets, and had some really cool conversations with a friend and pulled some tarot cards, and it was a good time. So definitely feeling good, feeling very connected right now. And I guess one thing before we even get into the horoscope is like, if you can just tap into those things that really do bring you happiness right now, whatever they might be, and what get you connected to your divine human nature, and the things that really make you feel good and bring you that sense of happiness and joy into your life, those are game changers right now. So it worked wonders for me yesterday when you're watching this, but spent the day at the river and under the stars, and it was the perfect medicine that I needed in these times. So little things like that, whatever that is for you, get out there and get into those things that make you feel good if you can, and try not to push those to the side. Like, those are important right now. All right, let's jump into the horoscope for this Wednesday, Mercury day. We're going to see that sun at 2 degrees. This is, if there was this week, if there was a day that we were going to feel maybe the most that wasn't the full moon, which we're building up towards, which is going to happen tomorrow, it would be today. This is a major emotional day, and I think it can be emotional in the most beautiful of ways. We're going to have that sun trine Jupiter, and there's like there really are a lot of abundant things, but there are these abundant things within us right now, and it's our spirituality, it's our connection to the universe, to God, to all these different things. Like, when we tap into those feelings and get into that, that's where this like amazing divine nectar of like goodness is. And I truly believe that right now, with the way things are shaping up, and even within my own life and the way that things made me feel, so I wanted to share that. But today is a day where, even with a station Jupiter, it's still this like, it can be an extremely abundant day if we're feeling into the things that make us feel good. But it's a sensitive day with the moon, which wants to open up a lot of different avenues and different deeper philosophies, or learn new things here in Sagittarius, or go on these new adventures. It's square Neptune, so it just is this like, it's the makings for like the most sensitive of days. And that moon's also going to quincunx Venus, which is in opposition to Pluto today. And it's interesting, because I think we're learning today big time to let go of what doesn't feel good, what doesn't bring us comfort, and like really move into the abundance of the things that do make us feel good, that do bring us a sense of happiness and joy, and learning how to get out of structures in our own lives that we've created, that we've programmed into our own lives, that we've been programmed by in our lives, and really like step into making new structures in our lives based around the goodness of the universe, the beauty of all these things in our lives, and being grateful for the amazing things that we do have, and finding comfort in those things, and learning to get over the things that weren't bringing us a sense of comfort, weren't bringing us a sense of, nurturing just within our own self. And I think that is what today's about. And I think, we're also going to see that moon oppose this station direct Mercury today. So there's definitely a lot that we've been contemplating, and we got to feel into those things. And what did our mind go over? Like, my mind went over so many different things during this Mercury retrograde, and maybe yours did too. So now it's like, feel into what got brought up and what you went over and all the things that you thought about. Those were important, and like if you feel into those and you tap into that divine goodness and that divine, nectar, really, like this juicy center of what does bring you the ultimate in life right now, then you're shattering your reality in the best of ways by stepping into what makes you feel truly authentically you and is bringing you a sense of joy, happiness, Mars at 7 degrees, starting to make good aspects to the nodes, but also getting ready for some heavy aspects to Uranus and Saturn. And it's at that spiritual degree of 7 today. And we even have Mercury at 16 making a 7. And of course, with the squares to Neptune and the trines to Jupiter, I think that when you get into what makes you spiritually light up within you, within that connection, like that's the greatest gift today. And it can come through emotionally. So, if you have to let out a good cry to get in, like this would be the day where like if like tears were going to show up, I feel like today's the day like where like tears might just show up, but they could be tears of joy. They don't necessarily have to be tears of sadness, but I think we're trying to get over things that don't bring us some stable sense of comfort and like value within our own self. So it's very like internal right now. And, God knows there's so much going on in the outer world. It just is, it's kind of always that way. But I feel like, especially in these times, there's just so much this, so much that, division here, division there. But like, how can you get really just back into yourself and how you can get that grounded, stable footing just within yourself so that you can make moves in the direction that you feel most called to, that light up your world, that light up your emotions, that light up your solar plexus. And I would say that that's really that's the goodness of today. And that's where the true gift is when you're finding all the things that bring you abundance within yourself, and then you put them into action in some way, shape, or form moving forward, so that we're not doing these old stories or these old whatever they were that aren't bringing us this like goodness, this real goodness in our own lives. And I think this full moon changes structures about how we've been believing about ourselves, and this is that day before and that build up to that. And I think that today's one of the most important days to realize that you have all the gifts you could possibly need within you, and that connection to something more, and how you use that and how you feel into that and see that beauty that is surrounding you. There's some amazing things, but it is a little difficult with Venus opposing Pluto and in quincunx to the moon. I mean, these can definitely bring up heavy emotions when it comes to people in our lives too. Like if people are not showing up and being there and, having that nurturing aspect or, reciprocating the right emotional, responses that do light you up and make you feel good, that's another thing that is like, are we going to keep building structures for ourselves based around things that don't make us feel good? And I think, money comes up. Like, how's money making you feel? And are you ready to shift your belief and shift your feelings into a way that makes you feel better about money? And you might be good with money. Like, who knows? Like, I'm not here to judge or, make that a thing. But, this comes back to our own sense of self-worth and value too. So we're transforming the way we look at ourselves by how we feel about ourselves, and really getting to the goodness of our own human nature and of what we truly want to pursue by how that makes us feel. And things that don't make us feel good, they don't need to stick around. And I think today's a good reminder of that. And that we can get ourselves in a strange place also by contemplating keeping things in our life with the moon opposing Mercury. Like if we're just going to get our mind all lost in like these what ifs, if you do move on, if you do go into something that's going to make you feel better, how that's going to affect someone else, how that's going to affect this, how that's going to affect that. I mean, yeah, there's cause and effect, and like that's a thing, but your own feelings and the way that you get through life right now is more important, and like how you can move forward in a direction that makes you feel better with the right connections, with the right people or lovers or partners or whatever it is in life. Like, do you really have to contemplate the things that are going to make you feel better? Sometimes we got to look out for ourselves and go in the direction that we're feeling most called. And I think that today's a good day to to feel, and I think it's a very sensitive day. But it's sensitive for good reason, because we're going to feel deeply about the direction that we want to go into, the people, the values that mean the most to us in these times. And you shouldn't hold that back from yourself or from anybody else. And that's your truth, is your feelings. So don't be afraid to express how you're feeling. And don't be afraid to let in the goodness that wants to find you, that isn't really coming from anywhere but deep within yourself, that you already know. Ten of Swords reversed is the card of the day. I think that that's a great card for today, actually, because we're no longer sticking swords in our backs that don't make us feel good or that put us down in a hole. We're getting out of a hole today. It might feel like we're in a hole, but it's like we've been in the hole long enough, and now we're climbing out of that hole, and it's going to change the way we think and feel about ourselves. And that's very important, because the better we feel about ourselves, the better we feel just in general within ourselves, the less we trick ourselves into thinking that we're stuck and we figure out ways out. So I think today's a way to feel into getting out of any situation that is no longer serving your true essence of who you are. And that's a beautiful thing. I think that card sums it up, because we're not going to stick swords in our back anymore today. We're not going to dig ourselves deeper into some emotional hole or some mental trap that we put ourselves in. We're moving out of that, because we're going to realize that there's more out there for us. There's better things ahead always. What are the little things in life that make you feel good right now? What are the big things even that make you feel good? That's the way out of the hole. Trust how you're feeling. Go in that direction. Trust your intuition. It's everything. Everything. And it'll make a huge difference. I love you all with all my heart. I appreciate you. Hope you have a beautiful Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.